I love that your family were like, let's stay in Oldham, and you're like, what about Mars? Brian Cox, everybody. How is life for you right now, Brian?
I am part of an unbroken chain that began with the last universal common ancestor, to which we are all related around 3.8 billion years ago.
Brian.
So we're going to do pan-fried Dover sole with some clams, some samphire, and cider as well.
Absolute perfection.
You told us that you're never guilty about pleasures.
Great answer.
That's correct, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely correct.
Flying saucers don't exist, by the way. I mean, the snack does.
The snack does.
The snack does, yeah.
That's my childhood, Brian. Hello, welcome to Dish from Waitrose. I'm Nick Grimshaw.
And I'm Angela Hartnett.
That's right.
That's right.
How are you, Ange?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, I'm all right.
Yeah.
I feel a bit snoozy, if I'm honest.
Snoozy. You're trying to have a little
snoozy.
nap.
Yeah.
Well, you do start early. What are you, 5 a.m. up?
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Do you do a nap ever?
Used to, don't anymore.
Do you think it's good for you or bad for you?
I think it's good for you.
Yeah?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But not a long one. You don't need a 2 hour, you need a power nap.
Yeah, like power nap, like 10 minutes?
Yeah, 10 minutes
Do you
maximum,
ever do
half
one
an
before
hour.
service?
No, because then you sort of feel... Afternoon, I've been known to do it in the afternoon, go home and have a power nap.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Professor Brian Cox.
I know, very
With us
excited.
today on
I know,
Dish.
our first professor.
Our first professor.
Yes. Yeah.
Have you ever met him?
No, never. Have you?
I have. I've met him a
Yeah.
few
Well,
times.
you've met everyone, haven't
He's
you?
been on the radio
A
few times, and
Yeah.
I've always had a really great time
And he's
with
from
him.
Oldham, no?
He's from Oldham, yeah.
So,
yeah. It's a very brainy town.
very
Professor
brainy
Brian
town.
Cox.
Nick Grimshaw.
Yeah. So he's going to be here soon. And of course, we know him as someone that speaks about, space
Everything.
and time and science. Before we get an expert in, what are your thoughts on space? Would you travel?
I think, I'd love to know if there's other planets with other people on. You know,
Do you think there is?
I don't know. I honestly don't. I mean, how do any of us know?
Yeah.
And there are other planets going, there are other planets with other, how do we know? You know.
Do you think there's like an
And there are
alien-
other people doing a podcast like us in another universe.
Oh my God.
That's
Imagine
frightening.
alien Hartnett
Yeah.
over there.
No, it's fascinating. It's the unknown, isn't it? That's it. I love the way I was the alien. You get away with
It's
it.
just the A word.
Yeah.
Which planet would you most like to go to?
Jupiter.
Why?
Don't know. I've never sort of analysed it more. It's just the one I thought about. It's a nice sounding name, Jupiter.
It's a nice name. What about Uranus?
Oh, boom, boom. There we go. Trust you to lower it down. You don't pretend you're not trying to be funny. Your base humour, Grimshaw. It's all you're about.
It's not.
Right, moving on.
I've got a challenge for you. You have to mention Uranus to Brian.
No, I'm not doing that.
And no one
No,
can
I'm
laugh.
not doing it.
Go on.
No, you can mention it and see if the crew don't
Go
laugh.
on.
No.
Go on. Please.
No.
I wonder how that goes down with him, because he's probably like, oh my
How many
God.
times have people said it? Exactly, yeah.
I hate that. I find it funny. But why is it called that? Call it something else.
Call it something else. Let's tell him. He
Call
can change
it something else.
He can
But
change
he
it.
was saying he thinks Mars will be soon. Not
Yeah.
maybe moving there. Not
Yeah.
opening a Waitrose or anything.
Yeah.
But we might be using it to like mine.
Oh.
Do you know what I mean? If we're on a sand. Something.
Yeah.
Get
Yeah, more
it off
stuff.
Mars. Brian, as well as talking about space and time,
Mm-hmm.
we're going to talk. He's a big wine fan.
Big wine
wine fan.
Loves his Burgundy, white Burgundy.
Yeah, he's got it's stocked apparently his house with
Stocked.
wine.
Cellars everywhere, wine everywhere.
Yeah, and he's also going to be. He's also quite passionate about gin.
Oh, yes.
So he's coming to talk to us about gin as well today.
Excellent.
But we always like to do a bit of a seasonal moment, and we thought because Brian is such a wine fan, we could do the seasonality of wine. And I guess you think about it seasonally in a broader sense, like in the winter you might have red wine, in the summer you might have white wine. In August exclusively, you might forgo water for rosé. But is there specific seasons of different grapes and wines? No. Okay.
No, I think
See you next week.
The season of wine now is, end of October. So sort of September, October is harvest time. So wine will all start to be put in barrels come October time. So the end of this month, or even before, everyone will be picking their grapes, fermenting, adding their sugar, etc. So then it's aged. So there's the seasonality of years, really. There's young wine, older wine, and all the rest of it. But then you have Beaujolais Nouveau Day, which is where the wine from the region of France is made from the Gamay grape, and it's bottled very early. It's a young harvest, and they put it out for release, and then they just have these mad days where everyone just basically gets pissed up on Beaujolais.
What is that about?
It is slightly bonkers.
Vive la France.
Vive la France,
So when is it this year?
So it's the third Thursday of every November is the date. So it's the 20th this year.
The 20th?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I look forward to celebrating with you, Ange.
Perfect. You come as my guest.
At the end of the month, yeah. Apologies to Neil. All right, well, we should get our guest in. Let's get Brian in.
Yes.
Hi, Brian. Welcome. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Lovely to meet you.
Very
How are
nice
you?
to meet you.
All
Very
right.
well,
Good.
thank you. Yeah.
Come through.
After you, Brian.
Yeah, come through. I'm going to make us a gin and tonic.
That would be a good idea.
We are ready to go on a journey that takes us through the great curiosities of life. We're going to talk about time, space, the universe, and most importantly, what wine goes nice with a Dover soul. A round of applause for our guest, Brian Cox, everybody. Welcome. Hi.
Welcome.
How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Thanks for coming to see us.
Yeah.
No, it's a pleasure. I'm going to learn something. I like learning.
You
Yeah,
do. Well,
we know.
I feel like we may learn more.
Yes, I think that's probably
Before you joined us,
true.
we gave our thoughts on space. Yeah, we're kind of up for it.
Is that
Yeah,
We'd go.
We'd go. Yeah, big time. Yeah,
Is that the sum total of your thoughts?
Yeah, we're like,
I'm up for it.
We're a bit
Yeah.
basic.
Claire, who we used to work with, says, we always say to people, how's life? And I don't know, I didn't notice
didn't
that.
notice that.
Me neither. But everyone was saying, when I ask you, it's kind of feels like a deeper question. So how is life? Not for us all, but how is life for you right now,
Yeah.
Brian?
So you're expecting me to say I am part of an unbroken chain that began with the last universal common ancestor to which we are all related around 3.8 billion years ago. And actually, until around sort of 600 or 700 million years ago, all there existed on the Earth were single-celled organisms. So it's only in the last, 700 million years or so that complex multicellular life has appeared on the Earth. And I am part of that unbroken chain, which is a remarkable thing. That's what you
That's
think.
exactly what I was asking. Yeah, that's exactly what I was asking.
That's the right answer. Thank
Exactly
you.
what I was asking,
So
yeah.
therefore,
I've
it's
been
very
asking it
good.
for every week.
because it's remarkably unlikely.
Yeah. Well, welcome, Brian.
Yes.
And thank you for coming. And we've done your gin and tonic because you recently went to Iceland. Is that right?
Yeah, So gin, I've got. I mean, I've always liked a gin and tonic, but recently
classic.
I've noticed that they all taste different.
Right,
Which is,
yeah.
and in Iceland, they're really big on gin. There are loads of little distilleries around that make really interesting gins.
No, we've gone for this
This is
one,
beautiful.
a Cambridge dry gin, great bottle. If you're
Yes.
watching this on YouTube,
Yeah.
it's square. And we couldn't get the Icelandic gin flowing, so we gave Brian a choice, and we got the guys at Waitrose sort of pick their favourites essentially. So we've gone for this one, but it's great gin.
It is
really
beautiful. It's made in Cambridge, is it?
Yeah, blended and made in Cambridge, yeah.
What are your gin facts there, Ange?
Well, gin facts are, so it has traditional juniper combined with fresh basil, rosemary, rose petal, angelica seed, blackcurrant leaf, and the effervescent citrus fruits of lemon verbena.
Wow. And so, Brian, you are our first professor, as
Yeah.
we were saying, on Dish. You're our second Brian Cox, because Brian Cox, the actor on, of course. And you guys must have crossed paths. When did you guys first?
We have. I think the first time I met him, it was at some awards ceremony. I was giving an award. So I was on stage and he jumped on. And ran on in front of me,
Yeah.
and kind of made a joke of it, and because he's funny, and so I met him, and then we have mutual friends actually, so we've been out for dinner as well.
Oh, okay.
And at that, it was funny because I walked into the restaurant and said, like, a table for Brian Cox, and they took me there. And then he walked in and said, a table for Brian Cox. And they just went white because they thought they'd only got one table. Oh, no, there's two of them. And it was, I know, we're together, don't worry about it.
Are you the real Brian Cox or are you the real Brian? Yeah.
So since then, we've interacted. But we did. We were asked to do one of those pieces for a newspaper, and they wanted to do Brian Cox meets Brian Cox.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he did say to me, it's absurd, really, because it's just the same name. We've got nothing in common or anything. You know, why do people think it's interesting to put these two people together? Because it's just random.
Yeah. Well, I have a namesake in Nicholas Grimshaw, who's an architect. And he passed recently, actually. He was 85, Nicholas Grimshaw. So I always grew up knowing his name because it was my name.
Yeah.
And he was an architect. He did like the Eden Project. He did the Berlin Stock Exchange.
Right.
Incredibly excellent architect.
Yeah.
And really, you know, truly so respected and celebrated. And when it was like 2013 or something, I got a letter to my house. And then the letter was like, just nonsensical. I was like,
for him,
I was like, this is nothing to do with me. Like, how's a letter about architecture to Nicholas Grimshaw arrived at my house? I was like, it's quite weird. Lived on the same street. And I went to his office and met everyone and showed me around. He's got that giant office on. It's in Clerkenwell. You might have seen it. It's like a huge building. It says Grimshaw up the side of it. Oh. So I went round and he showed me his office and how it all works and met everyone. And he was the most interesting guy, obviously. Yeah. And then he was like, why don't you show me something from your world? What's going on in pop music this week? Because I was at Radio 1 at the time.
Right.
And that day, Rihanna released Better Have My Money. So I said, well, the big thing at the moment is Rihanna has just released this really great, but quite expletive pop song called Better Have My Money.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, I don't know her. And he watched the video, totally got her.
Brilliant.
He went, oh, I like her. Yeah, she's good. He was like, she's a bit punk. She says, she's quite real, isn't she? I said, she is quite real. He went, yeah, I really like her. He just was like, yeah, get it. Any Angela Hartnetts out there?
I don't think
there must
so.
be, please. Come on. If you are an Angela Hartnett listening, please, let's find one. Brian, before we get into the chat, we always like to do our guests' food likes and dislikes. First up, you really enjoyed Dill for Soul, which we're going to be having today. One of my favourites. I'm so excited about this. You also love parsley from your garden. For reasons that don't need explaining. We weren't able to source the parsley from your garden. And you said, I love it when I'm filming somewhere like India and I can get a dal for breakfast.
Yes. I find that there's, you know, because breakfast is a funny meal, isn't it? Because you think that the only thing you could possibly eat for breakfast is eggs or something like that. But of course, it's regional. And I think dal works tremendously well for breakfast. So I'd always go for it.
I went away with my mum at the beginning of the year and we went to Morocco, and then on the breakfast they did like a really great, it was in Morocco, but it was called an Egyptian stew. So it was kind of dal-like, and it was like lentils, but also had chickpeas in it and onions, and it was so good at breakfast. And they'd serve it with like fresh red onion and like fresh herbs and a bit of lemon. And I'd have that with an egg on.
But I always think at breakfast, like when we went to Indonesia, we had the rice with fried egg on top.
Yeah, I love that.
You know, if you go to Tokyo, you have the Japanese breakfast.
I love
that's
Japanese
fantastic.
breakfast.
So whenever I go, I'm like you, whenever I go abroad, I'll always have whatever the local, you know, even if you get Iceland and all, you have just the cheese, the salami. It's just, it seems
fish,
more interesting than just,
fish,
exactly.
I never have like some cheese and ham for breakfast, but when I'm on holiday, I eat that every day.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it was, wasn't it? Continental breakfast.
Continental breakfast. But on holiday, you're like, absolutely delicious. But
exactly.
it's weird that you sort of like,
you like everything else.
Enslaved to cereal forever,
Indeed.
We also asked for your guilty pleasures, and you told us that you're never guilty about pleasures. Yeah.
That's correct, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely correct.
As I said, I'm part of an unbroken chain of life. Remarkable that I'm here at all.
For dislikes, it was only one thing, but it was pitched perfectly, and it was porridge tastes like cardboard.
It does. I don't understand porridge. I don't get it. It's just, it does, it looks and tastes like cardboard. I don't know why people eat it.
It does have to be disguised to be enjoyed. Do you know what I mean? You have to put like a tablespoon of sugar on it.
Yeah,
or
brown
honey
sugar,
or jam
honey. I quite like a bowl of porridge.
Plain porridge.
Well, no, I make it with half milk, half water.
Yes.
And then I put some chopped nuts on top and then honey on top.
Because I don't like, so rice pudding is another thing I don't like.
Oh, right. Is
I
it
don't like
maybe
hot milk.
milkiness?
I don't think milk should be hot.
Oh.
Yeah. I
It doesn't come out of the cow hot.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it does actually.
Yeah.
Maybe it comes out
Yeah,
of body
it probably
temperature.
Body
does, actually,
temperature.
But yeah, I suppose.
Yeah.
It never milks a cow.
Well, today's your day. So that's food likes and dislikes. We need to talk about wine because we know you're a big wine fan, and we know that you hosted an episode of your podcast, The Infinite Monkey Cage, called "Why Does Wine Taste So Good?"
It was really fascinating. It was at the Australian Wine Research Institute. So they have an academic centre near Adelaide where they research wine. It's a whole thing from growing the grapes all the way through. One of the things we did was try different tastes. So they give you little sort of pieces of, so it's like a little paper with little sort of chemicals on it.
Right,
and it's the different components of wine.
Yeah.
And there was one of them that they gave everybody. Everyone went, and I went, like that. It was awful. It was like an old shoe that someone had set on fire or something, and nobody else reacted to it. And they said, yes, so it's one of those things. So they call them super tasters for particular sort of compounds that you find in wine. And this one, there's something that happens sometimes. My favourite wine is white Burgundy. So I notice you've got a Saint-Aubin here, which is, I think, the best value in Burgundy because it's not like Montrachet and so everybody knows it. And so I love it. And there's something that occasionally happens, which I taste as really sort of hazelnutty, a real sort of nuttiness to them. And I don't like it at all. And it was associated with this chemical when they oxidize a bit, apparently. So I learnt why sometimes, particularly with white Burgundies, I get this nut taste that other people don't get, and I don't like it.
You have a home in Provence, right? How is life in Provence as a fan of wine? Are you a big collector of wine?
It's, that region is famous for rosé, but actually I'm not a big fan of rosé, to be honest. But they do make beautiful white wine. It's a grape called Roll. I think it's called Vermentino in Italy, but it's Roll in that region, which is a white grape that you don't see very much. And I like that a lot. But it doesn't come out of that region. Right. It really mainly stays in there. So I like that.
I mean, Neil, my husband, cycles a lot, and he worked in France for about 6-7 years. And there's sometimes when we go over there, we'll pick certain routes because he'll have gone to that vineyard to taste that wine. So he's sort of, you're the Burgundy side of it. He likes all the Pinot Noirs and all the sort of red grapes and stuff like that. So it's fantastic France when you go down. It's worth going to trips and just trying all the different. It's good.
We visited one in Australia. It's Canberra, and the winemaker said the wine and the grapes. He said it's just the medium through which the land and the season speaks to you. I thought that's beautiful, isn't it?
I love
that's what it is.
So usually around this stage, Ange will, finish making our meal. Yeah. We'd have a chat, but I heard you wanted to find out about how to make a good dover sole.
I really do, because I love fish. It was probably my go-to thing in a restaurant. Yeah. I tend to choose the fish. And I'm really bad at cooking fish.
Okay.
I think I panic and usually overcook it. Yeah. So I'm paranoid about it, I think.
Yeah.
So that's my...
Well, you should go and help.
You can come and help.
Yeah, go and have an Angela Hartnett lesson.
I will.
Yeah, go and go on. You're the professor for now, Ange.
So we're going to do pan-fried dover sole, but we're going to cook it with some clams, some samphire. As Brian likes parsley, we'll add a bit of parsley in there as well. And then cider as well. So we'll cook in the cider more than the butter. Just get your pan hot, a little bit of butter in there.
So why would you go for the cider? What's the choice?
Normally, if you do it Meunier style, which is butter and flour, and then you do the capers and the lemon. But we're going with the cider because we've got the clams. And normally with clams, you'd probably put wine. But for a different sort of flavour profile, we're going to use cider. So it'll have slightly sweeter. Then season your dover sole into there.
And not skin down first, the other way.
No, you put it, because the dover sole has a dark skin, but that's quite tough to eat. So I've peeled all that off. Oh. And that's basically the top of the fish, and we're going to do the skin side after. Okay. So I'm just going to let that cook slightly in there like this. And it's not going to cook the whole way through, because cooking it in this will keep it nice and moist, and it will help cook the clams as well. So just like so. What
temperature is really low, isn't it?
It's not too, because I don't want it too high, because I don't want the butter to burn. And then if I feel it's getting a bit too dark, I'll just add a little bit more butter. But it's okay at the moment. So you're going to just flip the fish like so. So it's got a nice colour on that side.
That immediately looks right.
Yeah. And then we're going to put our clams in.
And what do you do to the clams before, Ange?
Well, I did ours before only because I can't do 3 at once now. But for this recipe, you put the clams in, then a little bit of cider.
So you've already cooked those?
No, these aren't cooked, these are raw.
Oh, so you've not done anything to those clams, they're just going in now with
Yeah,
the
they're
fish,
just
with
going
the
in
cider.
now, and they're going to basically cook in the cider with the butter, and we're going to put a cartouche on, which forms as a lid to keep all that steam in, and then that's going to sort of steam open the clams and cook the Dover sole at the same time. I always like using a cartouche because you can just lift it slightly and see what's going on. I mean, you can do that with a lid as well, but I quite like a cartouche.
Yeah, I like saying cartouche.
I like cartouche, you see. But then if you were doing it Meunier style, which is when you flour it, straighten your butter, you turn it over, then you add your capers, your parsley, your lemon juice, and then you'd cook it straight on the stove like that. But then that is when it's really buttery sauce.
Yeah.
This is going to be a lot looser and less butter. So we're going to turn that heat up slightly like that. We've got our parsley ready, which I'm just going to finish chopping. We're going to add a little bit of samphire as well, just around the edges.
Yeah, you don't need to cook that for long, do you? Quick.
No, and I'm so old school that I do things like just the back of a spoon, and I just feel how the fish feels.
No, I would do that if I had any knowledge or skill.
So
Because I haven't.
if you sort of feel that now, it feels like if you sort of press in the thick bit, like the thick, which is the middle part where the bone is, you can feel there's still pressure there, tension. And once it's cooked, it will go through quite easily. So there's still a few more minutes to cook. So now you see the clams are opening. A few more minutes, I think, while the clams open.
And then the clams before, Ange, because I remember when we've had clams before, you do sort of make the kitchen a bit like a water feature for a bit.
Do I?
Because what happens with, you got to like rinse them for...
So basically, you sort of rinse your clams about 3 or 4 times under cold running water. So I think that's going to just sit in there now for a few minutes.
So you're just cleaning the shell,
Yeah,
basically.
basically you're cleaning the shells, any grit that's coming out of there, because you don't want any grit in the sauce. And then basically take them out, drain them, and then cook them, you know, hot.
And you just do it under a running tap?
Yeah,
like
under
that,
running tap, for about 3 or 4 minutes, and just keep changing the water so they're nice and clean. So all I'm going to do now is finish that with a bit of parsley. I'm going to put lemon on the side, and then I'm going to remove the fish onto your plate, and then I'm just going to add some creme fraiche and just reduce the sauce.
Oh.
Right, so you can sit down now.
Ooh.
You're going to take those to the table for me?
Well,
That's it, everyone. Nothing as a free lunch.
Yeah. So do you like to cook at home, Brian?
Yeah, I do. But as I said, it's kind of limited things that I feel that I can cook well.
Yeah. What would you do if Angela Hartnett, HRH, was coming around?
Dover sole now.
Get your
But
spoon
I
ready.
would ask, I'd take advice. I suppose it is experience, isn't it? I know you just say, well, you feel it when it's ready, but...
No, and listen, I've, as you say, it's years of experience. I know I've put stuff up. I mean, the other day I sent a dish out with no fish on it. I totally forgot to put it on the plate. And they were like, the waiter came back and said, "You're missing the fish show." You know, you'll cut into a piece of meat and you'll go, "I took that a bit longer," and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that's why you're training people all the time. But yeah, it's experience.
Food is here.
Food is here. So it is cider-steamed Dover sole with clams.
Oh, delicious.
Yeah. And served with a side of new potatoes.
Mm-hmm. Wow, this is our first Dover sole on dish.
First Dover sole.
He's a big guy, the Dover sole, isn't he?
It's a meaty fish, yeah.
He's a meaty guy, for sure.
Yeah.
Absolute perfection.
And you have
See, is that because it's about the texture, isn't it, as well?
yeah,
Dover sole?
it's quite meaty. It shouldn't, you can sort of pierce it to check it's cooked, I know that sounds terrible.
Yeah,
It's
but if you get
meaty
it
but
wrong,
flat.
you ruin it.
You've ruined it, yeah.
The other thing is, I didn't know, when you said cider, I thought, will that be a really strong taste? Because you imagine cider's really strong. But it isn't. It's very delicate.
No, it's quite delicate. And I think, and also because you put it into a hot pan, the alcohol steams off it. So you just get that sort of the minerally taste of the cider. And then you've got the creme fraiche that in a way dilutes it down and smooths it out. So it doesn't feel too acidic.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. We shouldn't be scared of clams, should we?
We shouldn't be scared of
Me and Brian were
clams,
saying
yeah.
we are a bit scared of clams.
No, you
One at
shouldn't
home,
be.
one at home.
Yeah.
No, I'm not scared of them when you've selected them and
Yeah.
cooked them.
No, exactly.
I'm scared of them when I've selected them. And
The key thing is when you cook them, don't cook them for too long because they get a bit rubbery. So as soon as they're open, pull them off the heat. And then any shells that are unopened, just get rid of them. That's the key. And even if when you rinse them in the water beforehand, if there's any that are chipped or slightly broken, don't bother cooking them, just get rid of them.
Okay.
They've got to be really closed before you cook them and then fully open once they're cooked.
So that's quite easy to cook then.
Yeah.
You just wait until you see that they're open.
Yeah, once they start to open, then off the heat. Yeah.
Cheers.
So,
and with the wine as well. What's the wine
good.
pairing?
Well, I'm going to ask you to pronounce this, Mr. Burgundy.
Oh yeah, Mr. Burgundy.
Come on.
Saint-Aubin Premier Cru, Domaine Gérard Thomas.
Fabulous.
Wow, that is
Domaine Gérard Thomas.
Domaine Gérard Thomas.
Gerald Thomas.
That is delicious wine.
That is.
Oh, it's absolutely beautiful.
And if you want to try this recipe with the clams, as half done by Ange, half done by Professor Brian Cox,
Yes.
Waitrose.com/dish recipes. You can get the wine pairing on there as well if you want to try it.
So how did we go from just some hydrogen and helium 13.8 billion years ago to Dover Sol and people talking about it and eating it and thinking about the universe? The bit that we can see has 2 trillion galaxies in it.
I'll tell you what, next week's dish guest better be good.
Exactly.
Because my mind has been blown. You've got a brand new show called Emergence, which you're touring now as a sort of work in progress across the UK, and then it kicks off properly in March, is it?
In Europe, yes.
In Europe,
around Europe in March, and then Australia, New Zealand, Singapore in just before the summer. And then here in October, November for the really big shows, which are really the things. I enjoy them all. But the thing about arenas, I mean, first of all, doing cosmology or astronomy in an arena is just fun and funny.
Yeah.
And also, we can put the screens in now. In somewhere like the O2, for example, you can put a screen in that basically fills the O2.
Yeah.
I think there's something like 30 metres wide by 14 metres high of LED. But the images we've got now from things like the James Webb Space Telescope, for example, are such high resolution that you can put them on screens like that and they look absolutely beautiful. And I've had astronomers come who are involved in the research, and they've only seen those images on a computer screen because most people do, right?
Wow, yeah.
In fact, nobody's ever seen them at 30 metres wide.
Yeah.
And it's wonderful to see.
Oh, I bet. And the tour is running from right through to 2027. I love
probably
that
be
there's
2028, actually.
Wow.
It'll go on and on.
I love that there's this hunger for it, don't you? Like that people that you can instill such curiosity in people.
Well, I mean, I don't think it's instilling curiosity. I think people are curious about particularly about the questions raised by cosmology. So cosmology is the study of the universe as a whole, and also concerning the origin of the universe. So questions about our existence are intimately entwined with that. And everybody has those questions. I think everybody wants to know, are we alone in the Milky Way galaxy or the universe? How did life begin? How did the universe begin? Did it have a beginning? All those things. Yeah. I think people think that the answer might be completely incomprehensible and too complicated. And it isn't. I mean, some of we don't know a lot about those questions. In fact, we probably don't know the answer to any of those questions that I just listed, which is interesting in itself. But we know, for example, one of the things I talk about is from the origin of the universe, from the Big Bang. The emergence is about how this happened. Yeah. So how did we go from just some hydrogen and helium 13.8 billion years ago to Dover Sol and people talking about it and eating it and thinking about the universe? That's a very good question because we have a photograph of the universe as it was 380,000 years after the Big Bang, and it's just got hydrogen and helium in it and a tiny bit of lithium. That's it. There's no carbon or oxygen or any of those things. So first of all, how did the helium get there? So then we know that, say you have a balloon, a party balloon, and you make your voice squeaky, the helium, that stuff, mainly, most of it was made in the first 3 minutes in the life of the universe. Wow. It's like it stopped, the universe was too cold to make it 3 minutes after the Big Bang. So that's where most of it comes from. Some of it gets made in stars, most of it from the Big Bang. So suddenly, those are interesting stories that you can tell about our origin. There's a galaxy at the moment which was seen by the James Webb Space Telescope, which is so far away that the light has taken 13.5 billion years to reach us. Now, the universe is 13.8 billion years old.
You can't get your head around
the photograph. There's a photograph of this thing. It's called Jade Z14, I think. It's got a really boring name. And you can kind of see it. It's a galaxy.
Yeah.
But it's the light. So 13.5 billion years, just some context for that. So the Earth is 4.5 billion years old. So that means this light is traveling across the universe. And when it's sort of about 2/3 of the way here, then the Earth forms. It's kind of nearly here.
No, it's
Right.
too...
And then it carries on.
Brian.
And
the
the telescope is so sensitive that there was a paper about a week ago actually that said we've seen that there's carbon in it. We've seen detected carbon atoms in this thing, which means there were some stars that lived and died in there. It's just remarkable.
And how do you feel about doing these huge shows? Because you say it's huge places like the O2. Yeah. How does it feel to step out and have to deliver this information on a nightly basis?
Have to deliver. I love it because it's kind of a pleasure. It's like almost an honor to be able to do it. I think when it's a big show, like you said, like 15,000 people, there's something about in an arena. If I say something that people really latch onto, like it might be that galaxy. I don't know what it'll be in this show, but it might be the image of that galaxy. And you say it's very close to the origin of time. And you pause and there's complete silence. And you kind of go, oh, they're listening.
Yeah.
They're listening to what I'm going to say next.
Yeah.
And there's a very particular silence with a really big audience that's different to the silence in the theatre. And so that's where I love it. And you just have, you could, if you weren't careful, have a little wobble then. Because everyone's like,
waiting for
waiting.
there you go, what I'm going to say next. I don't know.
What you have given people is the ability to ask, and it sounds silly, but silly questions and not feel silly. You haven't made it easy because it's very complicated, but I think you've made it approachable for people to question and want to come and see and understand a bit more.
Yeah,
and
it's
really important.
It is.
That confidence, and it's kind of a skill in a way to ask questions about things, which, as I said, was hard to come by. I don't think we were probably the 30-second explanation of why we're not on Mars now is because the Romans and Greeks didn't figure that out.
Yeah,
about asking questions and trying to do experiments and things. But it's central to life, isn't it? Because we live in a world, of course, where we're bombarded by information. We don't know what's reliable and what's not. So it's learning how to ask questions about information, but also trust information.
Yeah.
If you've asked a few questions, you go, okay, I'm not going to build some massive conspiracy theory about this. I trust this. Yeah. That is important.
Yeah, of course.
It's more important just
trust in the
even
source.
than science.
Yeah. We've got to go, Ange,
we've got to go.
You can get tickets for Emergence right now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get some right after this.
Yeah.
Not even joking. Should we do some food questions? Because normally we do food questions, and it'll be questions like, what's your go-to roast, or what did you eat at school? But we thought we could do science food questions right now, because I'm aware we really want Brian to eat.
Yes.
But also, just quickly, can you explain in a nutshell how taste works? Like, is there anything going on there scientifically, or is it not really a scientific subject as to how we taste things differently?
It's a very scientific subject.
I thought so.
So actually, I was one of the places I work is the Francis Crick Institute in London.
Oh yeah.
Which does lots of research, a lot of cancer research, but basically lots of biological research. And in there, I met someone who's doing a project trying to work out, I was going to say how mice smell, but you'll go awful, but I mean the science of how they smell things.
Yeah.
And so they've got like these images with brain scanning of the brain, and how it's triggered by different scents, which is essentially taste, isn't it? The base of taste. And they found that there are little regions of the brain which are like little co-processors, which take in the data and kind of compress it and work it out. And then they send some to the bit of the mouse brain that deals with the spatial sort of building our model of the world. So where is this thing? Where's it coming from? And then some might be danger or that bit of the brain. And some might, so different. We're just beginning to understand how the brain takes these signals, because they're the same signals that are coming from our eyes or our ears, right? It's just neurons, it's just electricity firing or signals in nerves. So the brain sorts it all out and says, this is smell, this is taste, this is spatial stuff, this is sight. And so we're just beginning to understand.
Wow.
So you thought it was a daft question, but it's a really good one.
Are there any scientific principles that are relevant in terms of cooking a meal? I.e., how about getting poached eggs just right?
Oh, definitely. Have you read that book, McGee?
I know Patrick McGee, yeah.
You know that book?
Yeah, I know the book.
So we know that the answer.
Yeah.
For those that don't know, it's a book about this big, which is all about the science of cooking, isn't
Which
it?
Heston does a lot of, and why things,
I love that book. So it is true that the temperature at which water boils varies with altitude. And that's basically because the pressure's lower as you go high up. So the water molecules will escape from the water at lower temperatures. So I suppose that you should correct for altitude when you're cooking. And you probably do if you're cooking at 5,000 meters on a volcano in Hawaii or something like that. So the cooking times will increase because you'll be cooking at a lower temperature. So you don't assume that boiling is at 100 degrees.
Because we have a restaurant out in the French Alps and we have a machine, people just go and boil their eggs. But we have a little message that says, whatever you cook in the UK, I think we say add a couple of minutes because it won't be the same. You'll put a 5-minute timer.
Well, you know the answers to that one.
Well, you know, but it's also
struck off our list.
Everything we have to do, like anything that is rising, so a cake is very different making it in the Alps and it is making, and there's so many times we make it and everyone goes, it's not working, and I go, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we have to consider all these things. So a lot of things you make with yoghurt are sort of like that sort of raising element rather than actually baking powder and eggs and stuff because it reacts differently,
Wow.
Yeah, big differences.
Huge difference.
Science all the way,
someone could be trying your recipes somewhere saying, she's and actually it's altitude.
It's altitude.
It's altitude, Now, we were speaking before about life on Mars, and you've spoken before about this, of course.
Yeah.
And you talked about before about having a permanent presence on Mars in the next 20 years.
Yes.
Do you think that's still the case? We're still on track?
We, yes. And Nick and I,
I think I would guess not on Mars. It's not out of the question. On the moon, yes, I would think. It's much easier to go to the moon and much easier to build bases there, and I think we will within 20 years. Mars is, if we really wanted to go there, we could go there, I think, on that timescale. But it's actually the journey time. It's really about 8 months or so there and about 8 months back. So it's really close to a 2-year mission. So I would say that we don't know how to do that yet.
Right.
Just for the humans, if nothing else. We know how to send spacecraft to Mars because we've done it. But sending them and having those humans in there in a very small space for so long, so far away from Earth, I don't think we understand how to do it. So I'd be surprised. I'd be delighted if someone fancied it and went there. It'd be really fascinating to see. There's a very famous Robert Zubrin, who's one of the people who's wrote books decades ago now about the case for space and the case for Mars. And I've met Zubrin and he's quite forceful. He's a real character. And he said to me once, he said, ideas have consequences. And the worst idea with the worst consequences in human history is that there are limited resources because it causes war and competition. And there are limited resources on Earth. And it is clear that by chasing after them, we fight wars over them. And we also, of course, damage the climate and so on. But he said it's wrong, this idea. It's false because that way, infinite resources. And so he's a real kind of idealist. He said, if we just start to access that stuff, and actually more than that, we just understand that it's there, so we relax a bit, then we'll be fine. And he thinks that conflict will cease and we'll operate as one world. And actually, it is true that if you have the capability to go outwards, then you reduce the pressure. You could imagine a time where heavy industry and those things are moved off, where the resources and the power are. And then you protect this world, which is unique in the universe. It is the best planet in the universe for us. And then you start saying, how do we protect it then? And some people, we can argue about it. People are listening to this and arguing it, but it's an interesting argument. That one way to protect it would be to go and access the resources that are infinite that way.
Wow. Bloody hell, Ange.
Yes.
I'll tell you what,
Yeah.
next week's dish guest better be good.
Exactly.
Because my mind has been blown. Now that's all I want to talk about and all I want to think about.
Oh my God.
Luckily, we've got the fast food quiz.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's reductive.
No.
Do you know there's one, Stargazing Live that we used to do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were once with Dara. He's been on, hasn't he?
Oh, yeah,
That's
Dara.
so
We
special.
love Dara.
And we were interviewing Buzz Aldrin.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's Buzz Aldrin.
Wow.
And he got to the point and he was going, and then I walked out of the lunar lander and saw Neil and I was walking down the ladder. And in our ear it was going, time's up, go to the quiz about the dog.
No.
And we went, me and Darren were like, it's Buzz Aldrin.
No
He's like,
way.
and in the end, he took the earpiece out.
Oh,
He went, I'm
rebel.
not
Yeah.
going to the quiz about the dog.
Yes.
No. It is time for your fast food quiz. Tell us, please, your favourite way to eat eggs.
Scrambled.
Correct.
What's your favourite sandwich filling?
I like from way back, I think I like corned beef. With like pickle.
Oh,
Yeah, and I think
okay.
it's one of those childhood things
Yeah.
of corned beef sandwiches. And when it's right,
Yeah.
when it's right,
It's good.
with pickles and things like
Yeah,
that.
pickles.
I don't know. I feel too
Traumatised.
traumatized from it from childhood. Yeah.
What's your favourite crisp? Do you eat crisps? Is that a thing?
Yeah,
Yeah?
I do. I tell you what, roast chicken.
Roast
Oh, yeah,
chicken.
roast chicken.
We haven't
Forget
had
about roast chicken.
I don't think we've had a roast chicken flavour yet.
No, forget about that. Do you have a favourite pasta?
It depends what's on it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But I like the. I think at the moment because it changes.
Yeah,
What are the little tube ones called?
Little tube,
Like rigatoni.
Rigatoni.
Yeah,
I think
okay.
you
Yeah.
go rigatoni at the moment.
or penne?
Or penne.
Oh, penny.
Yeah.
But I like it to be just, again, talking about timing of cooking.
Yeah.
I only like it if it's just
Just cooked.
right.
Yeah.
But I like,
What about your favourite roast? Do you do Sunday roast?
Yeah, I like chicken. I love roast chicken.
Yeah.
I think. And chips.
And chips.
Roast chicken
And
and-
I love
gravy,
a
you have
roast
to have
chicken.
gravy.
and
Go
chips.
have gravy.
Yeah.
You got to have gravy.
Love that.
Which my wife thinks is also some weird northern
Oh, gravy and
affectation.
chips.
Oh, I love.
Oh, yeah, I'm with your wife on that.
Do you have a favourite form of potato?
It is chips.
It is
Chips.
chips.
But that's actually genetic.
Is it?
Yeah, I think, well, because I'm not only am I from Oldham, but I happen to know my whole family, the most boring family in the world, in the sense that my ancestry is Oldham.
Right.
Yes.
So like the Doomsday Book or something. They're fascinating
one
because
moved,
nobody
they
ever
just
went.
No,
Stay
everyone was
there.
like, we'll stay here.
Anywhere.
I love that your family were like, let's stay in Oldham, and you're like, what about Mars? Like, what's out there? Maybe that's why. Brian, we come to the end of the show question.
Right.
The crew write this question. We've not seen this, but for your chance to win the goodie bag, all you got to do is open the end of the show question, answer the question, and if you do answer it, the goodie bag is yours.
Professor Brian, thanks for coming on Dish Simply Wonderful. To win a Waitrose goodie bag, please answer the following question. Why is space such a good inspiration for snacks? Because there's Mars Bar, Milky
No,
Way, Galaxy,
guys.
Space Raiders, Flying Saucers, and which is your favourite?
Guys. Guys.
Well,
We
space...
didn't
There is
like
actually,
this.
when you think about it, there's
There is a lot of space snacks. Why is
Confectionery.
that? Yeah.
Yeah, I would say because space is possibly infinite, but at least the bit that we can see has 2 trillion galaxies in it. 2 trillion galaxies.
I mean, that alone.
With hundreds of billions of suns and trillions of planets in each galaxy. And so I would say the inspiration is unlimited,
Unlimited,
clearly.
yeah, like it's,
Unlimited.
abundance.
Because that's why, so yeah, Mars bars, Milky Way. Flying saucers don't exist, by the way. The snack does.
the snack does.
The snack
Thank
does,
you.
yeah.
That's my childhood,
So
Brian.
some of it's made up.
Yeah.
And which is your favourite?
Yeah, what's your favourite?
I'd probably say Mars bar from the fridge.
Yes.
Nice choice.
Well, Brian, you did answer that, and thank you so much. And also, we got real life science in there, so the goodie bag is yours, Brian Cox.
Oh,
Well done.
Well done. Congratulations. Thanks for bearing with. And a round of applause for the brilliant Brian Cox,
Yay!
everybody. Brian, thank you.
Thank you.